Hey everybody, it's Ron with Ron's Computer Videos. I've kind of got a theme going this week, so just bear with me. I was a LucasArts kid. I don't make any apologies for that. I mean, I've played a lot of Sierra games too, and I've played Dynamics, and I've played, games from a dozen other companies that made adventure games back in the day, but there's one that stands above the rest. I just remember going over to our friend's house. He had a Commodore 128D, and he had a ton of Commodore 64 software, which is kind of what a lot of people had that had 128Ds. But he had one game that really stood out for me, which was quite a bit of fun, and it's Maniac Mansion. So over the years, I have slowly tried to collect things that are kind of, Maniac Mansion centric. I've got like magazines and international things and stuff like that. It's just, it's not a huge pile, but it's a little pile of stuff that interests me, and I wanted to share it with you. So I figured I will just go through this pile with you, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and then I'll have a little segment at the end where it's kind of the top-down view and you can kind of look at things in a little more detail, but let's just walk through it. So like I was saying, I played it on the computer at a friend's house, and it was just a completely transformative experience for me. The fact that you could pick different teams, and they all had different skills and can accomplish the game and kind of get to different endings was really like very, very exciting to me. I thought that was a cool thing. Now granted, this is the PC version of Maniac Mansion, and it's not even a complete copy. Sorry. It's one of those things where these are kind of expensive, so it's tough to get one that's complete. But I'm slowly working on it. I see stuff in auctions, or I see stuff at computer shows, and I pick up like one additional little thing that I need to complete mine, and eventually one day I'll have it. So in the box on this is really and there is an earlier version, the version that came out for the Commodore 64 and the Apple II. It looks a little different. It's sort of like a complete box. It doesn't have this two-part sort of style, just has a flip top. And those are kind of famous because they got recalled at retail because they had the word lust on the back, and I guess Walmart and different retailers didn't really like that. So this was kind of the follow-up design that got them back into retail. But in this box, at least my copy, I don't have a ton of stuff. I do have the 3.5-inch version of the game, and I do have the original manual and the original poster, which a lot of these are missing just because people hung them up. And then that was it. So, but I mean, it's a huge poster, and it's kind of neat. It's got a lot of story building and stuff, that has to do with things that happened in the game. So I like that a lot. Oops, am I putting it on wrong? Yeah. And then time went by, and they started releasing it for other platforms, because I think that they realized that there was money to be made off of this elsewhere. And so originally they got a release in Japan. Jalico did a Japanese release, and this is a weird one, folks. This is for the Japanese Nintendo, the Famicom. Everybody knows that, but basically it is kind of a weird retelling of the game with kind of like SD looking little characters and stuff. And I don't know if this has ever been translated into English, but I do know that when they were getting ready to do a US release, they were like, we can't just do a translation and call that enough. they needed to basically kind of start over. So I do like this a lot. I got this off of a Japanese auction site, and it's complete. This is everything. So it's got the game, and it's got like the little manual inside the box. The box is in pretty good condition, and it's a little plastic thing, which I guess was kind of the thing at the time, to protect these on store shelves and stuff, because otherwise it would just kind of fall out. But something else I do have relating to the Japanese version of Maniac Mansion is they released a hint book, which you have to kind of keep in mind that they read right to left instead of left to right. So you might pick this up and kind of look at it, but it's very interesting. It's a very interesting book that kind of like gives you sort of, and this is, you know, you see the Japanese SD style characters and stuff here on the front, but it's I mean, they must have thought a lot about this, because it's even got like a little dust cover. But the artwork and stuff inside the book is actually really interesting. I think there's a copy of this out on archive.org where you can kind of flip through and see it, but look at these characters. They look like something out of like Friday the 13th for the NES. Like, it's just sort of like the little pixel art people, but like really, they're quite small on screen. And the Edisons look kind of crazy in there too. So, but this book kind of goes through and gives you some hints and stuff on what you can actually do to try to complete the game. I do not read Japanese, so I can't really tell you, but there's a lot of hiragana and katakana in here, so someone could probably go out to the copy on archive.org and translate it. But my understanding is the gameplay is a little localized too, so it does kind of lose some of the appeal for some of the jokes and stuff, you know, that didn't necessarily translate to the Japanese audience from the Apple II or the Commodore 64 version. But a little bit later, Jalico did bring it to the US. We got our own. This was from like a rental store, but this was Maniac Mansion for the NES. This is some of the stuff in this box are from the copy that I owned when I was a kid, and that is kind of how I got to play this a lot back in the day, because I did not have like a PC that was, or like a machine that was my machine that I could do this stuff on, but I certainly had a Nintendo, so I was able to just go through and I think I asked for this for a birthday or something, but the poster in the NES version is a little bit different. It's a two-sided thing, and it is just kind of a shrunk down version of the poster that came with the other game. This manual is 100%. I held on to the poster. I got rid of the game and everything years ago, but this is my manual, and this is my poster and stuff from when I was a kid. But the just in the style that they did the US, this is kind of a cheapy manual. It's got the black and white printing and stuff inside, but it's kind of interesting. It definitely gives you the lowdown on just kind of how to get things started on the game. They do promote that there is a hint book in here that you can spend $8 on, but yeah. But you can see the style of the American characters. They're a little bit bigger, a little more filled out. So, but no, I really like the NES version. I think it's quite a bit of fun. I think it holds up today. I know that speedrunners and stuff will play this version quite a bit, and maybe just in the last couple of years started muting the music. So it's because it is kind of repetitive, but it was nice to have sort of that I think it's tape players or something like that on the PC version, and it's like a CD player or something on the NES, just to show how much time had passed. But the game itself got a really nice write-up in episode 16, or issue 16, of Nintendo Power. And I think just recently somebody had found the original prop that they had used for this photo here. If I can find it, I'll put a little version of it down here in the corner. But the I remember poring over this because I had a Nintendo Power subscription contemporary to this, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really like such an kind of an upgrade compared to some of the other kind of versions of the game that were out there on for like the original version for PC, or which I think is like CGA, and then there's the VGA, the enhanced version that came out later. But I was so blown away by just how colorful it was, and the spread here, which I mean, I realize now as an adult that this was designed to make me want to purchase the game. I think this was a good purchase, though. I really think that that I got a lot of enjoyment out of playing this one. I think they even did a little thing in this issue, or it might not be this issue, it might be another issue, because they always had the little cartoony kind of things in here where I think they did one where it's Ness and Howard were basically, it's something with like Chuck the Plant or something, but I can't remember. Man, it's been a few years. And then of course, many years later, the sequel came out, Day of the Tentacle. My copy of this is pretty complete, but we're here to talk about Maniac Mansion. So I don't know if you have played it. I sure hope you have, because it is such a kind of a formative game for like the LucasArts experience. But it's just one of those amazing things. So I've been very fortunate. I've been able to reach out and talk to people. And actually on Friday of this week, depending on how you're watching these videos, have an interview with someone who is very involved with trying to bring this game off of home computers and onto the consoles. So we'll have a conversation with him, and hopefully that'll be exciting. So anyway, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this stuff in a little bit more detail, and then we will come back and wrap things up. So that's it for the moment. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.